My mad existence, I kept my promise. Don't keep your
So there were certain people that couldn't be hired. There was a whole ecosystem of blacklisting, and then I guess you'd call it sort of de-blacklisting.
That has got to go. My God, who wants that?
Yeah.
They actually have lead actors on camera in his clip from late 2022, but it's just resurfaced now, saying she's going to be focused on becoming a leader.
Why would a Broadway rehearsal suddenly go dark, only to resurface online with a totally different voice belting Eva Perón's most famous notes? In a shaky 47-second leak, the spotlight isn't on Rachel Zegler. It's on an unfamiliar Argentine soprano whose fearless vibrato stops the room cold. Overnight, the video racks up millions of views, the show's social pages vanish, and Rachel herself wipes Evita from her bio. No statement, no denial, just silence that feels louder than a standing ovation. Now, theater Twitter is in meltdown. Reddit sleuths swear they've cracked the cast sheet, and insiders whisper that a backstage coup just dethroned Broadway's newest darling. Yet the producers stay silent, and opening night tickets suddenly list their star mysteriously as TBA. Subscribe and tap the bell so you're first to know when the curtain finally rises on the truth. It started with a shaky 47-second cell phone video blasted onto X at 2:14 a.m. Wednesday. The orchestra is idle, house lights dim, and front row chairs are littered with water bottles and crumpled paper.
Not to add fuel to the Rachel Zegler Oscar fiasco, but why did they have these women, all Disney princesses, all stated as Disney princesses, come out to present, but like not include Rachel Zegler, who's going to be Snow White? They're clearly acknowledging Disney princesses from movies that have not been released yet. Someone must have had this conversation and then they purposely left her out, even though she was the only one with a hit movie this year of the four. Did anyone else notice this, or am I overthinking?
But center stage a lone performer belts "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina" with startling confidence. Her timbre is richer than Rachel Zegler's, the vowels carry a Buenos Aires lilt, and she nails Eva Perón's last high note like opening night depends on it. By noon, the leak has crossed 8 million views. Hashtags are trending worldwide, and theater Twitter is spiraling. The real shock, though, isn't the mystery voice. It's the blackout that follows. Within an hour, the show's social pages switch to private comments freeze, and the verified cast list disappears from the official website. Entertainment reporters receive identical replies. No comment at this time. Evan Rachel, known for daily clapbacks, scrubs every Evita selfie, deletes rehearsal stories, and vanishes from X altogether. For fans, the silence feels like confirmation that a covert recast just detonated, and producers are scrambling to plug leaks before investors bolt. Enter the internet's volunteer forensics unit. Redditors rip the audio, amplify the hiss, and isolate a hushed stage manager cue. Cami, take it again from the top. Discord servers overlay the leak's waveform onto a 2019 university production of West Side Story in Buenos Aires. The waveforms align at 91%, pointing to Camila Delgado, a little-known mezzo who recently relocated to London. Hours later, a grainy backstage call sheet hits Instagram, showing a blank line where Zegler's name once appeared, flanked by 2 faint blue letters, CD. Speculation turns wildfire. By sunset, mainstream tabloids join the frenzy, citing Anonymous. Whispers about security escorts, contract renegotiations, and emergency investor briefings. Ticket resale sites abruptly list Eva Perón as TBA, and die-hard fans swear they'll camp outside previews just to see who steps into the spotlight when the orchestra strikes the overture. One clip, one silence, and Broadway's facade has been cracked wide open for the world. Camila Delgado isn't a household name, yet fans now mention her with the same breathless urgency they once reserved for Rachel Zegler. Born among the terrazzo, cafes of Palermo, Buenos Aires, she soaked up street tangos before winning a scholarship to Argentina's National Conservatory. Professors still recall the day she vaulted from warm mezzo to crystalline belt without blinking, earning a standing ovation and the conservatory's coveted Maria Callas Prize. That acclaim funded a semester in Milan.
Difficult for me to believe that there's anything redeeming about this project whatsoever. Now, I am sure that we have all seen this viral clip
where she absorbed bel canto, discipline, and mastered the ruthless 8 shows a week stamina Broadway demands. After graduating, she pivoted from opera to musical theater, touring regional houses in Córdoba, Rosario, and Mendoza. In a 2019 campus revival of West Side Story, she played Maria. A grainy video of that performance now underpins hundreds of TikTok breakdowns. Amateur audio engineers overlaid her final high B with the leaked Evita clip, reporting a 91% vibrato match. Those waveforms elevated an unknown vocalist into the eye of Broadway's storm almost overnight. Travel. Breadcrumbs deep in the intrigue. A Heathrow immigration ledger, photographed by a flight attendant gossip page, lists Delgado Camila, artist visa, 15th April. An agency spreadsheet erased minutes after the leak shows her height, shoe size, and crucially, the code Lead E. Meanwhile, a London flatmate uploaded, then deleted, a TikTok captioned, "Roommate vocal warm-ups at 2 a.m. The unseen scales unmistakably belong to the same timbre now haunting rehearsal halls. Industry insiders whisper the show's choreographer spotted Camila at a Teatro Colón gala 6 weeks ago and texted producers, "Plan B just walked in." If true, negotiations began well before Rachel's Twitter controversies rattled investors. Camila's camp is silent. Instagram set to private, Twitter locked, senior recital footage wiped by the conservatory to respect alumni privacy. Each deletion feels less like routine maintenance and more like stagehands sweeping confetti before the curtain rises. Critics whisper her raw charisma and political savvy may inject fresh relevance into a fading classic about power, ambition, and public image. So where does that leave Broadway's hottest mystery? Either Camila is an emergency understudy holding the fort while lawyers duel, or she has already signed as Evita's new face, her silence part of a choreographed reveal due opening night. Until the marquee changes, every hush backstage, erased post, and blurry airport sighting fuels certainty that Eva Perón's microphone has a new owner, and nobody plans to admit it early. For Broadway obsessives, that mystery is both intoxicating and maddening. Rachel Zegler's sudden retreat might be the most dramatic beat of this saga. 2 days ago, she was still liking fan art and teasing big news in TikTok drafts. Today, every feed is silent. Twitter deactivated, Instagram comments locked, Cameo frozen. Her normally chatter-filled presence has become a digital dead zone. For someone whose career was turbocharged by constant engagement, the blackout lands like an admission that something combustible is happening offstage. Journalists chasing quotes hit reinforced steel. A terse email from her publicist offers only 5 words. Rachel is focusing on her craft. Anonymous cast members whisper a stricter truth. A non-disclosure order threatens 6-figure penalties if anybody breathes about rehearsals. Even her inner circle group chat, usually leaky, has gone dark according to one mutual friend who spoke to Variety in background. Fans denied official updates. Decode micro-gestures instead. She unfollowed the Evita choreographer at dawn, but still follows the vocal director, sparking theories of a negotiated comeback. Spotify activity trackers claim she spent midnight streaming Patti LuPone's 1979 cast album. Stan Twitter reads it as a never surrender message. Reddit sleuths refresh her Venmo in case a cryptic payment note leaks context. Ironically, silence multiplies scrutiny. Twitch reactors dissect the phrasing of her last tweet. TikTok voice coaches compare archived warm-ups to the leaked clip, arguing the new singer's resonance proves Rachel is gone for good. BuzzFeed churns out listicles titled 7 Ways Rachel Could Break Her Silence, while morning talk shows speculate on potential lawsuits before coffee. Whether the hush is strategic legal insulation or the calm before a scorched earth statement, one truth stands. Every hour Zegler stays quiet, the narrative escapes further from her control, and when she finally speaks, the explosion will either resurrect her Broadway dream or confirm its abrupt death. Until then, rumors keep roaring. According to 3 separate backstage leaks, the hush makes sense once you hear what, allegedly, erupted inside Studio B last Friday afternoon. Rachel challenged a last-minute choreography tweak that chopped Buenos Aires into a TikTok-length burst. The director snapped back. She fired off that she wasn't here to mimic a highlight reel. Tempers flared until the stage manager called a break. 10 minutes later, security escorts flanked Rachel from the wings to the loading dock, officially for a wellness cooldown, but everyone present read the subtext. Producers, already jittery from social media flare-ups, convened a midnight Zoom with West End investors. Analysts warned that every headline tying Zegler to backstage turmoil risked premium seat cancellations. Then came the contract bombshell. Her agent had delivered a revised rider demanding approval over costume silhouettes, final cut on promotional footage, and a bonus tied to Instagram engagement metrics. One board member reportedly branded the request an influencer hijack. Lawyers advised placing Rachel on a provisional hiatus while they studied breach clauses. By dawn, dancers received an updated call sheet listing Camila Delgado for the 2 toughest numbers, a new Argentina and Rainbow High, plus a cryptic note, all alternate blocking now in effect. Wardrobe halted beating on Rachel's gala gown and fast-tracked a duplicate in Delgado's measurements. In marketing, the teaser trailer was recut to wide crowd shots, letting editors swap leads without costly reshoots. Technically, Rachel is only on leave, but semantics can't hide the reality that lawyers, accountants, and insurance underwriters now steer the creative ship. With previews in 16 days and a multi-million-pound capitalization hanging in the balance, producers appear brutally pragmatic. Secure a drama-free frontwoman, lock the sets, and open on time, even if it means rewriting Broadway's splashiest comeback story. Switching insurance mid-rehearsal isn't cheap. It's the theatrical equivalent of changing pilots mid-flight. Taken alone, each document might be a coincidence. Together, they outline a silent but decisive handover already locked into budgets, fittings, and liability policies. And if the paperwork is done, what's the next battleground? Lawyers. The courthouse lights may come up next, soon. Investor anxiety now reverberates across conference rooms from Soho to Times Square, punctuated by the rustle of legal pads and buzzing phones. Two entertainment law firms, one defending Rachel, the other advising the producers, have opened 24-hour war rooms, according to a paralegal who leaked redacted schedules. Every memo repeats the phrase, wrongful removal, a charge that, if proven, could saddle the show with Rachel's full salary plus refund penalties, pushing damages into seven-figure territory. Producers answer with a clause buried deep inside her contract, a morality provision allowing dismissal for behavior likely to injure the production's reputation. Internal emails argue last week's rehearsal blow-up, layered atop months of incendiary tweets, triggered that clause automatically. Rachel's counsel insists no formal disciplinary hearing took place, branding the morality claim camouflage for a cost-cutting recast. Delgado's rumored paycheck sits 40% lower, freeing funds for overdue marketing bills and orchestra, over time. Insurers glare warily at the stalemate. A leaked cancellation rider shows premiums were set to spike 22%, unless lead performer volatility was resolved within 72 hours. For bean counters, replacing Rachel looked less like betrayal and more like protecting the policy that keeps house lights glowing. Yet once attorneys file suit, expected as early as next Tuesday, those same underwriters could freeze payouts, forcing investors to post fresh guarantees or risk previews hemorrhaging cash. The saga has mutated beyond gossip into a chess match, where every legal move burns real money and decides whether the overture ever plays. Both camps are polishing press releases that read like opening statements, while Broadway insiders brace for an explosive Act 2, this time inside a courtroom rather than on stage. Until a judge rules, each whispered rumor feels like a gavel hovering midair. Investors, patrons, ushers, and exhausted cast members hold their breath daily, awaiting the final curtain call verdict from the bench tomorrow morning. Online sleuths have weaponized every social platform, turning one grainy rehearsal video into the internet's favorite cold case. The hashtag Evita Expose has clocked more than 130 million views in 72 hours, feeding a torrent of homemade spectrograms, posture comparison clips, and spreadsheets ranking how closely the mystery singer's vowels match Camila Delgado's 2019 university performance of Tonight. One viral TikTok layers her high C atop the leaked Don't Cry For Me Argentina, proclaiming a 91% frequency match, and the comment section treats it like DNA evidence. Digital detectives are not satisfied with audio alone. They've triangulated Heathrow flight logs, Airbnb check-ins, and Uber drop-offs to trace both actresses in real time. A London bike courier posted a receipt showing a midnight pastry delivery to C. Delgado at the theater's stage door. The image now circulates like classified intel. Another user scraped the venue's public Wi-Fi records and spotted a fresh device named CD iPhone, connecting on the same night Rachel Zegler allegedly left, escorted by security. Even local baristas have weighed in, claiming Camila now orders throat coat tea, extra honey twice a day. With data piling up, conspiracy branches multiply hourly. One faction champions the Rachel in disguise theory, arguing prosthetics, and a vocal coach let her trial a humbler persona without public scrutiny. Another insists producers orchestrated the leak as guerrilla marketing to juice sluggish ticket sales, gambling that mystery will fill seats faster than any marquee star. The wildest camp believes a streaming giant quietly financed Camila's takeover and is filming every clandestine negotiation for a launch day docu-series titled Evita Unmasked. Whether plausible or absurd, each narrative exerts real pressure. Every TikTok deep dive forces legacy outlets to chase clicks, amplifying rumors the production refuses to address. In a world where virality can topple a show faster than savage reviews, every amateur decode chips away at official silence, turning the theater's next announcement from simple marketing into a high-stakes verdict. Countdown to previews continues. Broadway thrives on spectacle, but the most electric moments often happen before the curtain even lifts. One shaky rehearsal clip, a handful of erased bios, and a flood of cafe napkin leaks have pulled the Evita revival into a swirl of intrigue no marketing team could invent. Whether Rachel Zegler staged a principled stand, was pushed by nervous investors, or quietly strategies her legal comeback, the vacuum she leaves has turned an unknown Argentine mezzo into the most talked-about voice on the West End overnight. Papers point to a completed handover, hashtags predict a shock return, and lawyers sharpen their briefs while ticket buyers refresh resale sites, hunting for the performance that will decide which version of history survives. In theater, legend says the show must go on. In 2025, the internet demands to watch the struggle in real time. Whoever steps beneath the follow spot first, Zegler, Delgado, or a last-minute third contender, will carry the hopes of producers, investors, and millions of armchair detectives all at once. That single spotlight could illuminate a triumphant reinvention or expose the industry's slipperiest backstage politics. Either way, the first downbeat will thunder far beyond the orchestra pit. Until then, keep your programs ready, because the drama backstage may prove louder than any applause the audience can give once those velvet curtains finally part wide. If you don't want to miss the night every rumor meets reality, hit subscribe and ring the bell, because when the house lights fade, we'll be here with the instant breakdown.